I'm just going to play one song for you. Caitlin actually asked me to open the show, and I was like, sure, why not? Done it for 2 years, might as well make it round 3. But yeah.
Just like the maze, where all of the walls are continually changed.
I'm sure that if you're here, many of you know at least part of my story, but you may not know my name. I am Fotina, and people said it was a good name because I lightened up wherever I went. But tell me, some of you must have had a long trip. Are you all right? Does anyone need a drink of water? Okay. Well, water, that was how it started. Now, it hadn't been a very light day. The man who was staying with me had been a little grumpy. I usually had a man staying with me. Sometimes they shared my bed, sometimes they didn't. Ever since my 4th husband, I was so afraid that he would come back and attack me or the children. But it was time for lunch. Then I saw that one of the children had been making mud pies out of the water. So I told the man, watch the children, and I went out to fetch water. Now, this meant that I had to go out in the heat of the day, and the only good thing was that there wouldn't be anybody there, nobody there to wait in line, and nobody to look at me. But as I came up to the well, I was surprised. There was someone there, a man. Now, men never draw water. So I went over the side of the well and I drew the water out, and it looked so refreshing. And he said to me, give me a drink. Well, was that a come on line or what? I mean, he wasn't bad looking, you know. And but I noticed his voice had a Galilean lilt. And I said, how is it that you, a Jew, ask a drink of water from me, a woman of Samaria? And he said, if you knew who I am and the gift of God, you would ask me for water and I would give you living water. Sir, the well is deep and you have nothing to draw with. And are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us this well and watered him and his flocks and his family?
She wrapped the prickers in porcelain, slipped each leaf into satin silk, covered each layer of soot with clean embroidered lace. Every layer of lust she planted lilacs, and luscious lavender took its place.
Is my living in vain? Is my giving in vain? Is my singing in vain? Is my bragging in vain? No, of course not. It's not all in vain. Up the road is eternal gain.
The sky is boundless. It is the freedom that we all crave from the world. It is our hopes, our dreams, our wishes as we look to the clouds by day and the stars by night. We seek answers from it because we know that something that free and vast must know. The sea shines like a mirror below our impure world. It is the cleansing we all desire to have, to be washed, to to be soaked in its embracing waves. It is both death and life to us. We fear it, we worship it, but most of all, we understand that it knows of things it cannot tell.
They called you a failure. They called you a lost cause. They said you would never become anything at all. Your generation with no direction. When I look in your eyes, I see the prize yet to be claimed. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, that your life was worth the price. Paid for you, paid for me, and I believe in you, and I know you'll find the truth. I know you've been broken, 'cause I've seen the abuse. I know there's a place inside your heart that's begging for truth, for a soft-spoken answer that won't break your spirit. And when I look in your eyes, I see the prize that's yet to be claimed. I'll say it once, I'll say it.
Hello, everyone. I would like to take a minute to introduce you to our next speaker. He is a professor of the highest possible distinction. His research is internationally renowned, and he's exceptionally cool. So without further ado, allow me to introduce you to myself. My name is Sean Shaler, but today you can call me Professor JD. And welcome to the first section of my lecture series entitled Anthropology 101. This is a topic that I assure you is a legitimate research topic, not something I just made up 5 minutes ago in the parking lot. And be sure to take notes. There will be a critical thinking quiz following the lecture. As you may or may not know, I've called this lecture series in order to present to you an astonishing discovery that I have made that could change the scope of our entire universe as we know it. It could even be the missing link in the evolution of Homo sapiens, but most likely, it will just change the way you perceive the influence that women have on men. Now, what can you tell me that could possibly do that? You're probably asking yourself if you're still awake. Well, I would answer, if you were so inclined to actually ask that question, I have discovered and observed a never-before-seen species of man. This particular being is special because he has never had contact or connection with a woman, ever. His entire life has been completely devoid of feminine influence and interaction. I call him Homo sans feminis. Isn't he beautiful? Though it is important to note that Homo sans feminis is not to be confused with my other previous earth-shattering discoveries, such as the ever-popular Homo bachelorus, and the much-maligned Homo still lives in his mother's basement. Yes.